Hello everybody, welcome to another live stream with Mint Market. Today I'm not at home. I hope still everything works out fine from the connection and from the stream and everything. We had news drivers today. Already in the morning at 8:30 New York time, we had core retail sales. So far, we had a huge up move in the morning session already. And yeah, we'll jump right into the analysis and see if we can find a trade today. At the very beginning, let me remind you that all being done and said here is my personal opinion. And if I take a live trade, it's in a demo account. Please do not risk real money on anything being said or shown here. With that being said, let us start right away. I think everything works so far. I will check the chat window real quick. All right, so far so good. So we had a huge run up today already, as we can see. And I'm not looking to buy today as of now. We are in a huge premium. We are again above the midnight price here and the 8:30 opening price. And so we're looking for a discount before selling short here if we do so, but we need confirmation first. And so first I want to see an indication that the market in fact wants to go lower. I will not just short here right away or try to pick the top. In 1 minute we have 10 o'clock, so our silver bullet window starts, so we can look for entries there. However, we want to see I'm interested in short trades primarily today, and we will see if we get a good setup here or if we don't. But first I want to see ideally a market structure shift and a willingness to go lower here. We are in the opening in the full hour macro here, so we have 10 minutes left in this macro. Ideally, if we look at the hourly chart here, you can see here these blue lines here. So that is an old new week opening gap here, and we can see if that's, I think that's a potential upside target, and we can see if that's being in fact traded to, and maybe that's a level. So here the blue line here, and what I'm touching here, 555 2.5, that's a potential level. Once we trade up there, we might see a retracement once we traded up there, or maybe even earlier, who knows. And that's basically what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for signs. The market's showing me a willingness that it wants to go in fact lower. Here at this 3-minute and 2-minute fair value gap, that's a potential inversion fair value gap for me. So that's what I marked here. The last fair value gap before we broke the structure here. So that's important to me. And yeah, once we get a structure shift or confirmation that we have reached a short-term high, I will look for a short. And we are in a big premium. We are very expensive in terms of price at the very moment, so I don't want to short here. All right, speak louder. I will try. Hello, TT. A very good morning to you, to Kelly. And again, I'm not at home today. Maybe there is something, maybe it's a different room or different acoustic here. So maybe that's the reason, but I will try. I will also check my settings real quick. But yeah, the settings are actually fine. So the audio shows me that it should hear me. Yeah, cool that you're watching again, TT. Glad to have you back in my stream. And yeah, another day, another chances. Basically, same thing like recently. We have, oh great, I'm glad it's better now. I'm also trying to speak up a little bit. And yeah, we had today, actually we have seen this a couple of times already. Let's see if we get a happy ending today. We have already big movement or big volatility in the morning session. So I hope that this AM session Silver Bullet window is not choppy again. And we are already in a big premium, so we have to wait a little bit and see if a nice short opportunity forms. And that is also what we have to accept. It is what it is. That's trading. So we are not gambling here. We are waiting for sound setups and confirmation and trading off that. So let's see what we get. So far we have taken out this high here, and we have a short-term market structure shift right now, in my opinion. And we see some displacement here. So what I'm looking at is the lows here, maybe the lows here. We have a gap here. So that's all potentially areas we could see being traded to. And so far I like the retracement here. Let's see if we get if we can find an entry here that is worth taking and has a good risk to reward ratio. So far so good. So far so good. This is a potential bullish order block, all three candles here. So we should close below 5530.75 in a perfect world, in my opinion. That would be ideal to validate the order block. And let's see if we are also high, low, high here. So we have a swing high broken here on the 1 minute as well. So let's see if we are able to find a discount here. If a gap here. Let me check what the Nasdaq is doing as well. Let me bring that up. We will stay on the 1 minute with the S&P so that we are not missing potential setups like yesterday. And I will try to stay focused now. We have a fair value gap here, so that's what I'm potentially looking at. Might get that one. The contrast is a little bit low. All right. And I will enter a short here. I think very soon. So far it's not very convincing though. The structure shift. But yeah, it's moving away. And I will sell here. I will sell here and I will target let me check, let me measure the swing. We measure the swing up here and I will take one standard deviation from here. So one standard deviation is right here. And we have the lows here below. So we might see them swept as well. I think I will put the stop at a take profit here below. And we will, for the risk management, we will put the stop above here. So yeah, in a perfect world, we should not get stopped out here. The entry was not ideal, but it was the entry was before we dropped this low here, before we took the low out here again. So that's why it's not chasing price in my opinion. Didn't enter right into the fair value gap. That would have been even better, of course. But as long as we didn't take out this high, it's not chasing price, so that's okay. And that's why I still entered even because we moved away quickly. We closed below this fair value gap, so it looked very weak. So that's why I still entered here. And we have taken out the first low already. So, and traded into this potential inversion fair value gap. I wanted to take partials here actually. Missed that one, not ideal. I wanted to take one contract off here. Shit. Slept. wanted to take contract off once we took out this low here. I missed that. Gotta live with that. Hi Abdul. Hi, welcome back. My first viewer. And yeah, so we will see exact same entry point but on Nasdaq. Nice. So I hope for us both that it's turning out fine. It came back here again and touched this fair value gap, so it should it's better if it goes lower now. Don't want to see it hang around here too much. And so let me check out Nasdaq on a 1 minute. Okay. The reaction here is not ideal so far. It could be better, could be stronger to the downside in my opinion. But so far, at least it respecting this fair value gap very well. So touched it once, twice, 3 times, but always didn't close and it just touched the low. So that's a good sign concerning this fair value gap here. However, we have this fair value gap here. I want to see this being broken. I don't want to see this acting as support. This is not so good. This is not what I like too much now. So let's mark out the mean threshold here. So let's annotate the 50% level here. And we should see some respect here. Okay, that's shit. That's shit. Shitty shit. And it even annoys me more that I didn't take partials now. This reaction is shit. Oh man. But let's see, let's give it some time. Not so confident anymore about the trade. Should definitely not fill in the whole gap here. Should better not close higher than here. Should start running now. In a perfect world, lower. We have a second fair value gap here. It could potentially trade into this, but I rather don't want to see this. So that's why my stop is actually below. But this reaction is not good. Guess we have to wait and see. It should better drop here now. Don't like it. Don't like it at all because we have taken liquidity out and have a strong up move now. So yeah, not good. Not good at all. Maybe we get stopped out. Can't do anything about it. Trade was valid. And so far, it's always nice in the morning, and when we trade in the silver bullet hour, it's shitty. So it is what it is. Yeah. Looks like I'm getting stopped out here. Yeah, really does look like it. Okay, now it drops. That's good. Let's see if it can drop further. It really needs to be heavy now. Oh man, not like this. All right. Yeah, that's not nice. I will take something off here. All right. Took something off here. Don't want to get the full stop out again. Let's see if it drops here, but the signs are not really good. Again, like this trade is not how it should behave. Not showing me signs that it's a very good trade at the moment. And yeah, we will stick with the rest. One contract for the rest. It should not have gone all the way up here, consolidating after we took out this low here. And again, I mean, on the bullish side, we still have this new wick opening gap here. So I think we can eventually reach up to this one. However, since we're so much in a premium, I expect at least a trade lower here, take out sell side liquidity, or trade lower into the range. But yeah, looks like we're not having a streak here. And it starts pissing me off a little bit, to be honest, because always the price action is really, really nice in the morning. Always when I'm in front of the chart, it's really nice. And then I'm streaming and it's shit. Seriously, since Monday, every session 10 to 11 a.m. was shit in my opinion, and all the AM sessions were amazing. Maybe I should switch the times. All right, so we took another hit here. And yeah, 500 down, maybe another stop out, I think. Yeah, whatever. We will find good trades again. I'm very happy about the closings yesterday. Two trades closed with just minor drawdown, and both would have stopped me out fully. So I'm very happy about closing the trades yesterday. I'm pretty sure I will get stopped out today again. Okay, that's my dog in the background. He's dreaming. Sorry about that. He always barks in his dreams. All right, yeah. That's going to be a loss. Really not nice. Really not nice. All right, here's the hit. Okay. Stopped out again. Really not a good week. A really, really not good week so far. Like, not big losses, but still a drawdown already. That's a losing streak, I guess. I think it was the last 4 trades or something. Stopped out. That's still in profit, but that's what you're going to have sometimes. But it's really not my hit rate. My hit rate is usually much better. Yeah, it's a little bit frustrating still, you know, if you try like 4 trades not going well, and you know that usually you have a hit rate that is much higher. it's a little bit frustrating. And always when the sessions are always nice in the morning and then you're streaming and then it's shitty. But yeah, it is what it is. Still, it pisses me off. It really, really starts pissing me off now. Because it was a very nice setup actually in the morning. It was really nice. You had liquidity taken out, market structure shift, low, high, lower, low, traded back into the fair value gap and then took off. I actually saw this setup before, didn't take it, missed it, but yeah, I saw it. Right, looks like it didn't want to come all the way back down. Looks like it just went into this fair value gap here, down here, and took out the liquidity and starts going higher again and again. On the upside, I'm not taking a bullish trade today, but on the upside, we have some room to go. And I'm really, I should have taken a partial here. I knew it. I just missed it because of time. All right. Whatever. Session is still long. Let's see if we find another trade. I'm in revenge mode now. I want to get it back. Let's double up the risk. Just kidding. Let's jump into the right very next trade with double of the risk. No. Just gotta accept it. Stay cool, stay calm. That sometimes happens and happens sometimes. And we gotta wait. Maybe the market gives us a better opportunity later on. So far, I'm not interested in taking another short here. We are now in the second fair value gap here. And so far, it looks strong. So would not short it here anymore at the very moment. It looks strong. We traded closed above the fair value gap here. This midpoint acted as support. We are in the second gap. I mean, let's look here. We have the second fair value gap here. It could still drop, but it's not nice. It's not like, not the signatures a very good trade has. It might still do something, but it's not the trades I want to be in. I want to be in the trades that are running quick, that are running far, and that gives me immediate feedback that I'm right. So actually, yeah, it's okay. That's why I also had the tight stop loss. I could have, if I would be very conservative, I could have put the stop loss here above the second gap and above the high. So actually, like the stop loss, if I want to be very conservative, I could have put the stop loss here, shorting here, but that was too much risk for me, and I'm happy I didn't do. So it's good. All good. The next winning trade will be phenomenal. 10 contracts, 20 handles. And also that is trading sometimes. Sometimes you have a losing streak, or you have take a couple of smaller hits, you draw down a little bit, and then, but if you really have a good winner, you let it run, then that's all how do you say, all being overtaken by that again. Yeah, agree with you, Abdul, 100%. Um, we have to stick to the trading plan, and it is sometimes frustrating, but it's okay. Yeah, don't get emotional, and also usually if you feel like you're emotionally attached after trade or after loss or whatever, you should probably take some time off, not jump into the next trade, go outside, do some sports, or so for me actually I have the rule like I take maximum 2 trades. If or both two fail, um, I'm I'm stopping. I'm not going back in this session. Like so, 2 losses, and also if I take a loss, the next trade has reduced risk. So if I don't know, I took let's say 3 contracts, like I did, I will the next trade will have less contracts, 2 or 1. And if I would fail again, the session is over. I'm not going back in. And that's a good strategy for me to manage my emotions, I think, and also to prevent you from major drawdown. You cannot, if you risk 1% per trade and you lose, and then you reduce risk by half, like you risk 0.5, you have 2 losing trades on a day, and it's minus 1.5%. That's nothing. Like that's okay. Like it's not killing you or blowing the account. You can just easily come back from that. And it's different if you lose, if you, let's say, lose 1% and then double up, lose again, and then you lose 2% or more, and then you're immediately like 4% drawdown, and that's not ideal. Risk what you can afford to lose, the most basic and advanced lesson I've learned. Exactly, yeah. So the money you put in your account or the money you're risking in a trade, you always gotta afford that. Exactly. So if you feel uncomfortable, then it's probably too much. So we entered here, was a legit entry, all was in place, high, low, higher, high. We took out the sell side liquidity, we were in a huge premium. So everything was actually in place here. I entered on the first fair value gap. We actually took out of the low as well. So I should have taken profit here. I knew it, I wanted it, but I missed it. And then the session bias is still bullish. So that's why we saw a turnaround here. It failed here, and now it's making a higher high. And again, I think this blue line here, this old new week opening gap, will be a factor today. 5553.25. I think we're going to see that, or that's at least a draw. That's I think at least what draws price up. Why the shorts are not ideal at the very moment. And Nasdaq made a higher high as well. Let's remove the executions. Yeah, trading is based on emotions. I 100% agree, Abdul. I think you're still young, right? But you seem to be very wise already for such a young trader. So respect for your attitude. I think you have the exactly right mindset. And yeah, I 100% agree. Like it's what I said. The whole week starting on Monday, it's the fourth day in a row where 10 to 11 a.m. is shitty. Like in my opinion, like it moves before, it moves after, but it doesn't. It really is fickle and doesn't really give us nice entries during the silver bullet time. I mean, it will change definitely. It's not always like this, but yeah, for since I stream, I really feel that this time is at the moment especially difficult and annoying a little bit. I think the season is a bit off to the upcoming elections. I think we both should shift to 8:30 a.m. Trust me, it's about some time. No, I'm not. I'm not. I mean, I'm trading the 8:30 time anyways. Um, I'm in front of the chart at 8:30 anyways, and if I find a trade, I'll take it in my private account. But for streaming purposes and overall, I don't think time. It really depends on the news calendar as well. You know, like we had. Uh, if you look at the calendar, if we look at the calendar, all the news were at 8:30 Tuesday, 8:30 Wednesday, 8:30 Thursday. So it's also, in my opinion, to do with the news calendar. So other weeks we have a lot of news around 10 a.m. and then it's different as well. But even though if you have 8:30 news, sometimes you have nice sessions at 10 a.m. because you have an up move here and then maybe you get a reversal setup or something. So I don't know why the sessions, particularly this week, are so shitty. But yeah, I'm sure it will change. So if you stick to your time window or to a time window, um, it will be it will change definitely. It will There will be times coming where this window is better again, and maybe the other window is not as good. So 8:30 is not always good in my experience. It was good this week, but it's not always like this. So I will stick to that. And I'm very, very sure that we will get good trades again in this time window as well. $10 was fine now. It's manipulation due to elections in the US. True. That's good then. That's great. All right. Thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah, definitely. We will stick to 10 to 11 a.m. from the time window. I will not change that in the future. And we have a higher high here so far. And let's actually see how many, eight more handles. And I want to show you something as well here. If you measure, we have here two new week opening gaps here. The blue line here, the upper blue line here, and the lower blue line here. If you measure the in between, consequent encroachment, if we mark the 50% level approximately, that's usually where nice setups form. And you can see the red line here is the midpoint. And look where we retraced to. Look where we're consolidating and where we traced to and where we go higher from. So that's really, it's perfect. It's really perfect, and that's also a technique I'm using. So in between, there is no setup forming. I just want you to show you that. It's really cool in my opinion also. I mean, it's perfect, it's to the tick. And again, with the fib, 50% from this line to this line, and we're exactly here. So, and let's see what I'm looking at next is if we approach the full hour macro, the last time window from 10:50 to 11 o'clock or 11:10, and we reach this new day opening gap here at 553.25, then I think that's another opportunity where we could potentially look for a short opportunity here. So that's actually my next window of opportunity. No, I'm not looking for longs. It's just a concept I wanted to show you. Like, if you would be looking for longs, I'm not doing it because we are too much in a premium where we just went up, so there was no retracement, nothing. We're too much in a premium in terms of opening prices, etc. But if you would be looking for longs, or if you read price and you want to see where retracements form and where the next price move forms, you can see that's exactly the 50% level here. From my personal opinion, I don't like it. I don't trade it, but you could have. I'm waiting for the next full hour macro at 10 a.m. and so like 10 minutes to go, and I would like to see price reach into the new day opening gap here, and we can see if we get some reaction off there during this time window, and maybe see if we get a short opportunity there. So that's my plan going forward for this session, to be honest. So we need to wait at least 10 more minutes, and ideally we see price reaching the level here I'm looking for. But I don't want to trade this. I don't want to go long here because, in my opinion, this is chasing price. We're not at fair value at the very moment, and we are almost 55 handles above the midnight open price and above the 8:30 price. So you would be buying very expensive in terms of intraday session. It's like you would pay the double of the price if you go to the grocery store. And yeah, we need to be a little bit more patient and wait another 10 minutes and see if we get the opportunity there in this time window. we have approximately 7 handles left until we reach this old new day opening gap here. And we will see if it respects that and gives us a retracement. On the other hand, or for further down the road, we have a lot of liquidity here. We have equal highs here at 5595. So I think eventually we will go higher. I think like the overall bias is still bullish, and I think we could eventually reach up into this gap here on a daily chart. So that's 5585 at least, and here 5596 we have relatively equal highs, so that's also interesting for liquidity purpose here in my opinion. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Abdul. The setup was perfectly fine. The setup was perfectly fine, but sometimes it is what it is. The bias was not 100%, or the timing was not 100% correct. And if the underlying bias is bullish, a session bias or daily bias, and you're just on the wrong side, you have to be very nimble. Gotta be very nimble, or if you have bad luck, you get stopped sometimes. It is what it is, and it gives you also further insight. So it's also like a premium you pay for more information, I guess. So if the PD arrays to the upside fail, to the downside fail, you know that the price is strong, and that's valuable insight. Either you reverse for the long side, or you, in this case, I sit still because it's way too much up for me already. All right, I hope the background noises are not too disturbing. I'm not at home today. I'm sitting in the kitchen, and I hope I really hope, I'm sorry for that. I hope the background noise is not too bad. All right, at least from a tape reading perspective, this new day opening gap will be soon reached, in my opinion. I think we will see that. And then we can see what, if we get a valid reaction of that in the next 10 to 20 minutes. And if not, we gotta wait for another day. Is what it is. Sometimes you just have to wait. So we have 3 minutes left until the A1050 window, and we will expect some volatility there. We could see 3 potential scenarios there. We could, if I'm approaching the full hour macro, what I'm looking at is either we get a fair value gap entry, we get a stop run, or we get an order block entry. And if that forms with the right idea in mind, we could look to engage that. I don't think anything like basically went wrong. I think it's just, you know, like as you said, setup totally fine. Shorting in a premium, setup, everything was there. The only thing that was basically wrong, or what happened, is that price didn't want to retrade a trade much lower here. It didn't want to reverse here or take out the liquidity from the morning. It just went to this fair value gap here. It was enough to take out this liquidity here at 940, and then it reversed, and the only thing that quote unquote was wrong was probably the session bias, that it wants to that it was strong pulling to this new day opening gap, and it was not willing to retrace in between or willing to reverse. So I think, I don't know, I don't think it was something like really wrong. I think it was just sometimes you cannot predict 100%, right? So just a little bit of a gray zone that sometimes is against you. What is your opinion? Let me know. I think always the best thing is to analyze the trades going wrong. So would be interesting what your view is about the setup here. All right, just almost there, almost there. Two handles basically missing, and we are in the relevant time window already. So we have 10:51 New York time. So we can now start looking. And the only thing, again, I'm still interested is in a short here. So the only thing that would put me in would be a market structure shift to the downside on the 5-minute, 3-minute, 2-minute, or 1-minute. Here with a fair value gap to enter, basically same thing like earlier. So I would try again here, and if it fails again, then I just stop for the day. And that's fine. But ideally first I would like to see the old opening gap being reached into. And we can also look at the midpoint. We can annotate the midpoint of the gap here. So midpoint is here. So we can also get some information about how weak or strong price is by seeing if it turns, if it just touches the low, if it goes to the first quarter, to the midpoint, or even higher, how it closes. So that all gives me information, and all gives me some confirmation about how good the setup is, how strong or weak a price is. So that's why I'm considering the midpoint here. Yeah, you gotta improve always, right? There's always something to improve. Usually bias, like just session bias, or I'm very happy with that, with my personal bias. I think I got the bias, even if I don't got the trade right. Usually the direction or the expectation I have is pretty accurate in my opinion. And again, I was not I had the bias. I had upfront a bullish bias, and I wanted to see this new day opening gap being reached, but I wanted to see a retracement first, or a stop run first, before we go there. So basically, maybe just the idea was wrong, not the bias per se, I would say, because even though if it would have worked, I would have still kept the overall bullish bias. So maybe if you want to call it, maybe the session bias was not accurate, or the target was also not actually the target, maybe, because we got a little run lower here, and I was expecting that, and we used that, but it was just stopping here. So actually, if you want to really nail it down, I think what was not accurate was the take profit and the target, because I would have expected to go lower, and it stopped here and reversed. But yeah, bias is also the most important thing. I think is you gotta know where price wanna draw us to. If you have a target, and if you know where it's going, then everything else is much easier. and much more accurate. So far we have not reached into that. I would have liked it already being reached into that. I mean, we're still in the time window, but it would be nice to get in the time window to already be up there and then sending displacement lower during the time window. So I don't want to see displacement up only during this time window. So let's see if we get what I want. So far the market is not giving me what I want. All right, 10 minutes left approximately, 10:58, and still no signs of my preferred setup so far. So gotta wait I guess. So let's stay on the 15-minute time frame. It's easier to, and we can monitor the gap better here. So I want to see a push up here now into the new week opening gap. Also at this point, why I'm bored about price, let me remind you, or let me ask you if you like the kind of streams and the content I'm doing. Would be very cool if you could leave a thumbs up there. And if you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel if you want to get more live streams. And with that being said, let's go back to price action, which is really boring so far in these live streams. I've always refrained from taking the longs this week because we were already so much in a premium. So and I think that's totally fine. But if I would have taken the longs, they would have always panned out. looks like we're getting up now. So the thing what I don't like is that we're seeing the up move into the gap all during this macro window now. So basically the macro move is probably the move up here and not the reversal setup. So that's not ideal in my opinion. I'm very glad. Thanks. Thank you so much for the feedback. Yeah, I'm not worried about the bad days, you know. Worried about the general content. But yeah, of course, people want to see probably trades every day. People want to see winning only and stuff like this. So of course it's challenging. Let's say it like this. But I personally, I'm fine. I'm totally fine. I do this long enough, and you know, you still get impulsive. You still you still get emotional at the very moment. Sometimes you're disappointed probably for some time, but you know that it's just, you know what you can do, you know what the statistics, the probability is. If you study this long enough, you know how your setup works, and you quickly remind yourself that's just a day and that you come back tomorrow. And overall, it's a total, or on the long run, it's a whole different story, right? And I think the better, it's more important to know when not to trade, or to know when it's a bad day, and to know when it's a bad day. It's even more important than to just know when to get into a trade. So you gotta know when it's overpriced. You gotta know when the probabilities are not on your side, when it's too expensive, or when you're in premium discount, when it's better to wait. So that's fine. So now we're almost there, and at least we can call it in tape reading. So even we're not on board, it's still nice to see that the expectation is working out, still happening. And we have probably just failed here, but maybe it's also not 100% exact on my chart, so we could have actually already reached it. Maybe I'm a couple of ticks off here with my annotation. So we're basically at the low of the new week opening gap here. And we have 4 minutes left in our time window. So let's see if we get obvious displacement lower, if we get obvious reaction off that. And if we don't, I'm going to close it in exactly 4 minutes. So I'm waiting 4 more minutes. If we get obvious displacement lower here from this gap here, if we do get the market structure shift on any of the lower time frames, and if we not get that, I will be closing it. broker. Not really sure. Um, I mean, I think it really depends what asset class you're trading, right? And it depends also TT where you are in the world, because, for example, um, in Europe you can trade CFDs and futures. I think in the US you can only trade futures. Um, it's also depending on tax reasons. I use a broker that is specific tax friendly for Austria, so I don't know how that's in the US. Um, so I guess it's hard for me to recommend you a specific broker. I mean, depending on which asset or kind of asset you trade, if you trade CFDs or futures, there is better and worse um, brokers. I think one that you can. Yes. Oh yeah, I was about to say that as well. Yeah, AMP futures. I was about to say that in the US, I know people that like AMP futures. I'm using a different one without making commercials here. That is especially for Austria or for Germany maybe ideal. But yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with AMP. All right. Um, all right. So far we have 1 minute left. We have not seen any. We have not seen any kind of displacement lower so far. We have not seen any kind of market structure shift. So I think I'm just going to call the session. There is nothing that is high probability, low risk reward. Uh, at in my opinion, I don't want to try to go long here and catch the last 5 handles before it totally collapses. So yeah, I personally will be back in the PM session again, but not here on stream. So yeah, I was a pleasure having you again, all of you, and I will be back tomorrow definitely. Would be nice seeing you as well again as well. And another day, another chance tomorrow. I wish you guys all the best and a lovely rest of the day. And see you next time.